Have you ever wondered what your dog is looking at when it's staring into a dark corner in your house and not breaking any eye contact? Well, the new movie Good Boy tells you exactly what they're looking at, and it's never a good thing. Now, if you've never heard of Good Boy, it's this indie film that just released, and it's a haunted house story. It's a paranormal type of horror movie, but the whole draw to this, the whole creative thing that gets people in the seats is it's from the dog's perspective. Now, this is gonna be a spoiler-free review of Good Boy, and if you've seen the movie already, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments, and if you liked the video, make sure you smash that like button. It really does help the channel out. Let's get started. Good Boy is about a dog named Indy and his owner who move into his owner's grandpa's old house in the middle of the woods. The thing is though, grandpa died, and they can't find the grandpa's old dog. So there's this whole mystery kind of going on, and they move in there, and Indy starts to see some things. First it's shadows, then things start moving, and there's this really bad, ominous feel to it all, but he doesn't know what's going on, the owner doesn't know what's going on, and you are stuck in the middle of it. Now, the first thing that I really dug about this movie is the whole premise, the creativity of what I'm actually watching. We've all seen paranormal movies, we've all seen haunted house movies. It's a genre that's not going away, but it's a genre that has been kind of stale, and you kind of already know what you're getting with this. But the fact that they gave us the perspective from the dog, from Indy, that's a whole new thing. And it's just those little things there that make a movie like this stand out in a sea of the same type of movies. And let me just say, 20 minutes into this movie, I was sitting there like, this dog is a better actor than almost everybody in Hollywood. How is this happening? Well, the thing is they filmed it in a really certain way. It took them 3 years to actually film this movie, and once you find out how they did it, it makes it that more impressive because of the dedication that they had to make this movie. But Indy, the way that they cut the movie, the way that they made everything just work, Indy looks like a paid actor. That dog is going places based off of this. And Indy just has a way of showing the audience what's going on. The way that he looks at certain things, the way that he barks, the distress in his barks, the way that he's clawing at something. There is just so many cues to show us how he's feeling. So even though he can't talk, of course, because he's a dog, you still feel what's going on. And that is just so important in a movie with such high stakes when it's just the owner and the dog. And the dog is just as lost and confused about what's going on as we are. And yes, this is a horror movie, of course, but there is a lot of drama to this because of the situation and the bond between the owner and Indy. So at the end of the day, it is a horror movie, but there is some drama there that's gonna be a little bit rewarding for those that have dogs, that have animals, that have pets, that just, if you're an animal person, you're gonna get a lot out of this because of the bond that you see between the owner and Indy. And while it's not particularly scary, there was about 1 or 2 jump scares that did end up getting me that I thought were pretty creative. But once again, it's more focused on the dog and the mystery and what Indy is seeing and kind of spoon feeding us, the audience, of what's going on. You never really get exact answers. You can kind of put it together yourself, but you never get the exact answers that you want, which I kind of didn't like because I was really invested in what's going on. But at the end of the movie, I had like 3 or 4 different theories of what was actually happening, what was real, why this is happening, things like that. So that's a part that I didn't necessarily like, but you have to remember, we are Indy. Indy is our gateway into this movie. So everything that Indy sees, we see. He's not gonna understand some stuff, we're not gonna understand some stuff. So once again, that is kind of an issue that I had, which it's not really fair. But at the end of the movie, just being real with you all, I wish I had more answers to this because at the end, I had so many theories of what was actually happening. Now, the movie is very short. It's less than an hour and a half. It flies by. But what they were able to do in that time span really worked for the story that they were trying to tell. And once again, they are limited. So like the creative part of this movie is showing us a ghost story through the eyes of a dog, Indy. That limits us. That limits us of what they can tell us and also what can actually happen to keep us engaged. So that runtime actually makes a lot of sense for a movie like this. Another example of a movie that really blew me away of taking this same concept, the haunted house type of genre, and kind of flipping it on its head and giving us something a little bit new to it is a movie called Presence. It came out earlier this year. If you have not seen Presence, go check it out. If you are interested in that, go in there blind. Don't watch the trailer. I believe it's on Hulu at the time of this recording, so go check that out. Go in blind. I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Now, if we were to look at haunted house movies or paranormal movies, Good Boy isn't at the top. For me personally, it wasn't at the top, but creatively, what it does makes it stand apart, right? It's its own separate area, and it's such an interesting way to look at horror movies and hauntings because it's personal. It can be very personal for people to watch a movie like this that have pets. There's so many mannerisms that they really show us that Indy does that is something that we've all seen in our dogs or our pets or something like that. So there's really nothing here that's gonna make it be like, hey, this is the craziest ghost story that I've ever seen. But it's something that I think is gonna be very interesting and very rewarding for people that wanna tiptoe into horror, that have pets, that wanna watch something a little bit spooky. And you just feel this connection with Indy. And I think that's probably the best part about this movie is you feel for this dog. You would do anything for Indy. It's an awesome movie to check out. Is Good Boy a good movie? Absolutely. Now, if you're watching this video in the month of October, which is spooky season, I put out a poll in my community post asking you all what you wanted to see. And the majority of you said single reviewed videos. So I'm going back and watching old movies and reviewing them, like Terrifier 2, I just did that. And I'm gonna be watching the newer movies that release, of course, Black Phone 2 is coming out, things like that. But if you wanna see a specific movie reviewed on the channel, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it, especially if they're movies that I have not seen yet. But overall, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.